My 393 Windsor is assembled as a short block. And as I was putting this together, I almost made one critical mistake that could have potentially caused catastrophic failure to this engine. Thankfully, I had a homemade tool that cost me $0 and kept me from making that mistake.
Greetings, fellow DIYer, and welcome to my video.
So in the last video, I told you that the next time you see this, it would be in short block form, and wouldn't you know it, here we have a short block. The pistons have been installed, the crankshaft has been installed, the camshaft has been installed, and the timing chain has been installed. I know what you're thinking. You're probably going, well, I would have liked to have seen all or some of that. And my thought is, I'm not a master engine builder. I know enough to get myself in trouble, and that's what we're doing here, but I'm not the guy that you're going to come to for every tip, every trick, that just watching me assemble a motor is going to be of significant educational value. And frankly, there are plenty of good videos already on YouTube, and I'm not one to flood the market with stuff that already exists. With that said, if you would like to see the assembly of this motor, keep watching this video, because at the end, I have a start to finish assembly of what you see right here. Took me about 4 hours to shoot it. I edited it down to about 40 minutes. And then with Time-lapse at 10x, I was able to get that 40 minutes down to 4 minutes. So you can see me build this in 4 minutes at the end of this video. But that's not why we're here. Why we're here is so that you don't make the mistake that I almost made. As I was going through, I'm torquing down my bolts. I've got several torque wrenches. I use a bigger torque wrench for my main cap bolts. I use a smaller torque wrench for my rod bolts. And everything was going along smoothly. But as I was torquing down these bolts, it didn't feel like they were taking a lot of torque. And I thought, well, super fine thread on these bolts. Maybe it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, the lubrication, the torque lube that's on here is super good. So it kind of makes sense that, it's not feeling like I'm really putting a lot of torque on them. And they're small bolts. But still, something didn't quite feel right. And then I pulled out my stretch gauge. You may have already seen this in a previous video because I showed how I built this. This was made out of nothing more than some key stock and a push rod, basically. I already had the dial indicator, so every component here was laying around in my garage and allowed me to make this stretch gauge. When I used this and started taking measurements, I was not getting the prescribed stretch that I should be getting. According to the paperwork that came with this stroker kit, I should be torquing my bolts down to 40 foot-pounds, and that should result in about 4 to 4.5 thousandths of stretch. And when I first used this stretch gauge, I was not seeing those numbers. I was seeing 2 to 3 thousandths of an inch of stretch, and I knew that something was not right. So I went and grabbed a different torque wrench and retorqued the bolts, and wouldn't you know it, retorquing with a different torque wrench resulted in the prescribed stretch in the rod bolt. So basically, the torque wrench that I was using was about 10 to 15 pounds off. Now that sounds like a lot, but it sounds like even more when you put it in perspective. The torque spec on this bolt is 40 foot-pounds. So if I'm off 10 to 15 foot-pounds, that means that I'm off by 25 to 30%. And that is just unacceptable. Had I put all this together and torqued everything down with that torque wrench, I likely would have had catastrophic failure at some point with this motor because these bolts would have come loose, or at the very least, the bearings wouldn't have been riding correctly because their overall shape is determined by everything being torqued down to spec. So I'm just going to take a minute and show you how this stretch gauge works. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this. This has already been torqued to spec, but it's not going to hurt anything to pull it and retorque it. So I'm going to pull both of these bolts and we're going to measure them and see if we are getting the correct torque spec. Now, I could easily just pull one bolt because this bolt right here is the only one that I'm going to be able to easily show on camera that the stretch that's on it. However, because this is round and because the overall shape of all of this is dependent on both bolts being torqued down, I don't want to remove just this bolt. I want to have equal forces and equal load on this bolt and this bolt. Now, am I overthinking this? Probably. Is it going to damage anything? Probably not, especially since I'm not going to rotate the crank. But I'm still going to do it. When I torque these down, I like to do them as a matched pair. And so because I am removing them and retorquing them, we're going to do it as a matched pair. All right, bolts are loose. So now we have our stretch gauge. And I'm just simply going to install the bolt into the stretch gauge, get it all set. And you can see it's pretty close to 0. I may have bumped this, things may have moved a little bit. We're set at 0. Set that there, we'll grab the other one. When I measured this one, I came in at 1,000th. And as long as you keep track of which one's which, it doesn't have to be set at 0. I know that I'm just a hair over 1,000ths on this bolt and I'm right at 0 on the other one. Doesn't say in the directions to do these stepped. It's just what I like to do. All right, we have it torqued down. We'll go ahead and reinstall the stretch gauge. And as you can see right there, I am sitting right at 4.5 thousandths, which means I am torqued to spec. Had I not used the stretch gauge, I would have been significantly under, and frankly, I would have been in trouble. I can remove the gauge, put it in this other one, not that you'll be able to see that on camera, but we'll get that into its spot. And I am sitting at 5.5. One more than I was over here, which is exactly what we measured at the unstretched length. So I know that both of these bolts are torqued correctly. So my engine building technique is I go through, I install all the bolts, I torque all the bolts, obviously bolts that require stage torquing, I do that. And then once everything is installed, I'll go back and double check the torque. I'll just set the torque at where it's supposed to be and I will hit every single bolt. And after I do that, I'll take a paint pen and mark that bolt so that I know it's been torqued to spec. Now I've seen people that do one bolt all the way through. They install it, they torque it, and then they mark it with paint. But for me personally, I like the double checking at the very end to make sure everything is torqued exactly the same, to make sure that the torque wrench didn't get adjusted or that our calibration is maybe off just a little bit, so that everything is uniform, and then, and only then, do I come in with the paint pen. And now without further ado, the time-lapse footage showing the assembly of my 393 short block. So I hope you enjoyed watching the time lapse of the assembly of this 393 Windsor that I am putting together. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them down in the comments, and I would love to get back to you.
If you like what you've seen, please click like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.